Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about this week's TV news. We also use this video as kind of an end of the week wrap up for the channel. Is there anything worth mentioning, any news of stuff, that kind of thing. We also usually at the end of the video pick our favourite episode of TV of the week. That's going to be rather difficult this week because it was a very light week of TV. It'll be very easy the rest of the summer because it'll just be Twin Peaks every week. But Twin Peaks was off this week, so this week's going to be a weird choice. I mean, we have like maybe two things to pick from.
I'm looking, not counting things that we've done anyway that aren't, things that we've gone back and done, or you're working through Glow with Matt. If you're not counting those as new releases this week, then we have two things.
Which is Doctor Who and...
Oh no, three things, sorry.
Oh, right,
Doctor Who, Preacher,
Preacher, yeah.
and Castlevania.
And Castlevania. That's a very good point. It's a very, very, very interesting week to pick that. So that's coming up at the end. As for updates, Castlevania started on Netflix today, time of recording. So, yeah, review of that will already be up by the time this goes up. So, check that out. But that's kind of it. Kind of a simple week.
Yeah.
It's a very summer week. But no, so let's get into the news. Nice and quick. That was easy, painless.
As well.
Speaking of Castlevania, though, first thing on the docket is there's a slight change. Originally, when this season was coming of Castlevania, it was season 1, part 1. It was the first half of the season, and it was comprising of 4 episodes. 4 episodes did launch. However, that is now just season 1 as a whole. And Netflix have officially renewed today Castlevania for season 2. But it's 8 episodes, so the episode orders went up. So what was season 1, part 2 is now season 2, but is 8 episodes long.
So, was part 2 originally 4 episodes? It was like part 1, part 2, it was 8 episodes as a total order, and they went, let's just call this 4, and then we'll go straight in with 8. Because I think maybe they looked at the Get Down, split its season, right? Mm-hmm. And maybe it just didn't work out too well, because they got cancelled ultimately because people didn't come back for a part 2 of a season.
And honestly, this is also not the first time this has happened either, because I remember Black Mirror season 3 that we got was originally season 3 part 1, and in the earliest stories about it coming, and then by the time it actually came out, no, this is just season 3, and there's another 6 episodes already greenlit, but that's season 4.
I think it makes more sense to do it this way, because then they can just mark it as season 2. It's a return. It's not. Oh, it's season 1, but it's part 2. It's just murky. Just don't do it.
Especially since in this format, where at least it makes somewhat sense in TV when it maybe breaks for Christmas and comes back and it's weekly. Like, it kind of works that sense, but when you're putting the whole thing up at once, it's like, why don't you just wait until you had all 8? Like, that's weird.
Yeah, it's like you really wanted something up, but you didn't have, because you wanted to hit a deadline, you wanted it for a certain date, but you didn't have time to do it all. It reminds me of like Breaking Bad 5A and 5B, which were basically 5 and 6.
I would disagree with that. I think that was just all season 5. I still think of it as one season. I think AMC were just greedy and wanted to spread it out over 2 years.
Maybe, but it was produced in 2 separate lots, like as if it was two. Even though thematically and it works, if you watch it all in one go, it works as one season. But it was produced as 2 seasons essentially.
Aye, but
it's kind of the same here, where it was produced as 2 seasons, but they were going to call it part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, but that was a choice made to stretch it out. Like, it wouldn't have been that way if they just let them do it in the first place at season 5. Yeah. Like, that was season 5. Like, I don't thoroughly think of it as 5 and 6. I'm annoyed they split it up in half. It's really stupid.
Yes, it is.
But AMC are pretty notorious for that now. They do it every year now with Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't watch those anymore.
In fact, I'm pretty sure it works out in this really weird way, where you get like half of one of them, and then you get the second half of one, and then the first half of the next show back to back, as if it was all one thing, because of the way it's worked out. Because,
yeah, you do.
Because you get Walking Dead like in the fall, it breaks for Christmas, it comes back in like February or whatever, it ends in April, and then Fear the Walking Dead starts straight up for like 8 weeks, and then goes on a break for the middle of summer. And then comes back, and then the end of that goes straight into... Like, it's really weird. Why not just give you a full season of one of them, and then a full season of the other one, and have to break in between those? But no.
So it's because of the production schedules that they've locked themselves into, and now they can't break the cycle without taking a break at some point, and they're not willing to do that.
It's just annoying.
It is.
Just have Walking Dead be like September to December, go through Halloween, right? That's your perfect spot for it, and have Fear the Walking Dead be a summer show. There you go, easy. So
You'd
simple,
think.
so simple, but the screwed the pooch. Anyway, so that's Castlevania coming back for season 2. And next up, Supergirl's having a weird recasting for a relatively minor character, admittedly, but Allura, who's Supergirl's Kryptonian mother, her her birth mother. She was played by Laura Benanti in the first 2 seasons. Well, season 2, I think that was just hologram stuff. It wasn't actually her, because it was her and her twin sister, because her twin sister was still alive in season 1 as a villain. But she's been replaced by Erica Durance, who is notable because she played Lois Lane in Smallville. But,
She was a very good Lois.
she was fine. My opinion of that is somewhat murky, just because I hated most of that show.
That's fair, but taken individually, she was pretty good.
I mean, she's no Hatcher, but yeah, sure.
I'm not going to go that far.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Well, I mean, obviously, if you have to recast a role, you have to recast a role. It's a little bit of a shame, but whatever.
It's a strange choice, though, here, because it feels like they got her and they were like, they wanted another alumni in there. And they were like, let's just put her as this. And I don't know.
It does feel a bit weird. I think the weirdest part of it, though, is that she is, at least as far as I know, she's much younger than the previous actress. Like, the previous actress, I think, was, like, in her 50s. Or at least close to it. Like, she was someone who looked like she was Melissa Benoist's mother's age, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And whereas Eric Durance, admittedly, Smallville was a decade ago now.
Jesus, it was.
Well, I mean, it's not been a decade since it finished. It's been 7 years since it finished.
Yeah, I know, but when I just, as soon as you said that, I was like,
but even then, like, Erica Durance must still be in her 30s.
She must be.
Yeah, like probably mid-30s. Actually, she's probably about 35. So, like,
It'd be really easy to check, wouldn't it?
It would be really easy to check. I'm not going to bother though. It's just fun to speculate. But keep in mind, Melissa Benoist is like 29. So, like, so now we have a mother who is like 6 years older. Now, don't get me wrong.
She's 39.
Oh, she's 39. Oh,
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, still 30s though. Like,
Yeah,
I think the point I'm
about.
making though is that she just feels a lot younger than the previous actress. So I think that may be a little bit distracting in that sense. But don't get me wrong. Obviously, the argument maybe would be that maybe she should have always been a bit younger than she was because it's been years since she was alive. But then again, you have the evil twin, who I suppose should look older. In fact, if anything, they missed a trick there. They should have had the evil twin look older because she'd been alive for another 15 years or whatever it was.
Do you know what? I'm looking up. Sorry, Laura Benanti is the previous one, right?
Uh-huh.
She's 37.
What?
So this is all utter bullshit.
She looks older than that. She looks older than Erica Durance anyway.
I agree. But Google is telling me she's 37.
Well, I'd like to apologise to Laura Benanti for assuming you're in your 50s. Oh, man.
Don't you feel bad now?
I feel a little bit bad. She legitimately felt older than that.
She did. I don't know, maybe they made her up to look a bit older, to be a bit more motherly.
Yeah, maybe they did.
I don't know.
She felt... I can't explain that, because even now that I know that, I'm thinking back and I'm like, no, she definitely looks older than that.
She does look older than that. At least 40s, you'd have said.
Yeah. Oh well. Also, I like the idea that people heard the start of that news story and started commenting, typing away furiously in the comments. You fool! She's only this age. But shut up, you morons. And I'm like, just wait 2 minutes. We bring it up. It gets corrected in the video. It's fine. They never go back and edit the comment,
They never do.
When they correct you in something that we actually bring up later on, they never go back and correct it and edit it and say, oh, never mind, you said it later on. They just leave it there.
I know.
Anyway, so yeah, Erica Durance is joining not joining Smallville. She's joining Supergirl as Allura, as Allura Zor-El.
I'm cool with that.
Apparently, is more suitable casting than I had originally said. Oh well. I still stand by though. They should have made the evil twin look older.
Sure.
Maybe they did. Maybe the hologram just makes it harder to tell the other one's younger.
That's it. You never really see. I mean, there's the occasional scene,
Yeah, and when
like once or twice.
and when she's in a flashback on Krypton, it makes sense that she's younger. So she looked younger in those scenes. And I don't think she did.
Yeah.
But whatever. Anyway, let's move on to other news. We've spent far too long on debating the ages of actresses on Supergirl / Smallville. So the True Detective season 3 might be a thing.
That's still happening. I mean, I know they spoke about it a long time ago.
Well, we have a potential cast member now.
Go on.
Oh god, I'm going to butcher this guy's name. I apologise profoundly before I say this. Can I just say Cottonmouth from Luke Cage? Can I just say that?
Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali. There you go.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, obviously the second name's fine, but Mahershala is...
That's it.
Fair enough. I was worried about straighten it up.
I heard it enough around awards season. I was like, okay, I know how you say it now.
Because he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor in a couple of things, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he won the one for Moonlight, right?
He was also in Hidden Figures, though. I've not seen Moonlight yet, but I've seen Hidden Figures.
No, I didn't see that one. I watched Moonlight. It's very good in Moonlight.
His role in that was a lot smaller in Hidden Figures, so it makes sense he didn't get an award for that one. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure that he won Best Actor for Moonlight.
Supporting actor, I think.
Was it supporting actor?
I think it was supporting actor.
Oh, I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
No, he definitely won something.
Oh yeah. He probably should do. He's a good actor. But anyway, he's in talks for True Detective season 3. Now this is not official. In fact, HBO are declining to comment on anything. This is just various sites have their sources, and their sources are saying, "No, he's in early talks." Season 3 of True Detective is also not officially been greenlit. Although again, sources are apparently saying that it seems like a done deal at this point.
Yeah, didn't we hear something a while back where they got someone else in to co-write it all?
Yeah, we got another writer to come in and help. What's his face?
Get it back on track, basically.
Honestly, the writing was the worst. Even season 1, which was obviously a much better season, the worst part of it was the writing.
It was dragged up by the spectacular directing.
Yeah, directing and performances are what made season 1 great.
That's it. I don't think. I mean, I didn't watch much of season 2. I watched one episode. You've watched far more than me, far more than anyone should have, frankly. But
yeah,
the actors were never a problem. At least on surface level, when I was reading the cast and when I saw them, they were never the problem.
You didn't realise you're going to have to suffer season 3 though. It doesn't matter. You've not seen season 2. It's an anthology. You can jump.
I don't care. I'm not putting myself through season 2. I'm not doing it. I watched one episode and I was like, I thought maybe I'll come back, and then as the week went on, I just went, I ain't watching another.
That was a classic case of there was nothing on that summer.
Yeah.
And True Detective season 2 was like, I guess we'll just keep watching this, and it was just soul crushing. All right, let's move on. Assassin's Creed appears to be an animated series from Adi Shankar, who is the producer of the current Castlevania series on Netflix.
Yes.
He also worked on a bunch of stuff. He was involved in Dread of all things, so he got some pedigree there. Yeah. Apparently, he just said on Facebook that Ubisoft has contacted him about the project, and he's been asked to develop an original story, and that's pretty much it. We don't know where it's going to be yet, if it even gets that far, where it'll actually air.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke. I think a couple of months ago. I mentioned because you didn't see it in your scan through because it was buried. I just happened to catch it on I think it was a Reddit post or something. It was an AMA.
This is the thing as well, is even this I didn't see. This wasn't on any of the regular news sites. This was on some... Yeah. You had to link me to this, and it was...
Yeah, it just so happens that I typically am a fan of the Assassin's Creed franchise, so these things tend to pop up on my Facebook just by proxy, whereas Peter's not a fan at all, so why would he see it?
And admittedly, I think part of the reason why this isn't popping up anywhere proper is that technically there's not actually been any announcements yet. It's all just kind of tidbits from...
Yeah, that's it. Like the first one was an AMA going, yeah, we're doing an Assassin's Creed TV show. Now this, I'm assuming this is that show. It's become an animated TV show by the sounds of it. But I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I do think it's a little bit strange though it's not had more noise. Like it's kind of weird that this is Assassin's Creed, it's a big video game franchise, and yet for some reason there's almost no.
That's it. It just maybe they're waiting to distance from the movie still.
I guess I never saw the movie. I don't particularly
I didn't either.
Care to see the movie. It looked kind of rough and
yeah, pretty much.
And despite the fact that Michael Fassbender is fantastic in most things, it's hard to get excited about a movie when it's just that grey looking.
Do you know what the worst part that put me off it? I was gonna go see it anyway, just because I'm a fan of Assassin's Creed. But then the reviews were saying even the combat was just edited to be boring. I was like, forget it.
Oh dear. Let's move on to some interesting news.
Oh, finally.
We've got some interesting news. John Carpenter.
Interested.
That's why I paused after I just said his name. Has signed an overall deal with Universal Cable Productions. Of course, they make shows preferably for their network. So you're thinking SyFy, USA, and obviously NBC. Oh, maybe not NBC because it's not cable technically, but like all their cable, bouquet of channels. And apparently he's already attached to 2 shows that are in the works. Early days, of course. One we know is for SyFy. The other one we don't know. Although it still sounds like a SyFy show, to be honest, like in terms of what channel it would go on between their stuff. But so the first one is Tales for a Halloween Night. And one of the things interesting about this is obviously he did Halloween, which I don't think this has anything to do with, but when he did Halloween 3, he didn't direct it, but he wrote it, and his idea for the franchise going forward from that point on, he wanted it to be an anthology where every year you'd have another Halloween movie, but it'd be, but it wouldn't be fatigued because it'd just be like, no, every year you come for Halloween, but you get a different type of horror story. One year it would be a witch story, one year it would be a monster story, and so on. So the fact that this is called Tales for a Halloween Night, and it's also based on Carpenter's own graphic novel anthology. Now, I've never heard of this before. I'm using graphic novel because they said it in the article. However, if I find out this is actually a comic book and they're just calling it a graphic novel, there will be fingers being wagged at individuals.
I think it's fair to just assume that you should be wagging those fingers.
Yeah, the chances of it actually being a graphic novel and not a comic book are kind of unlikely at this point. But so yeah, it's based on his anthology comics series. It brings together storytellers from the worlds of movies, novels, and comics for a collection of horror stories featuring graveyards, sunken ships, and all things that go bump in the night. And they're searching for a writer right now. So Carpenter's producing from the sounds of it. He's not actually super hands-on. But no, given the description, this sounds like it's going to be episode by episode anthology, where each, essentially be a series of short movies with different horror stories.
Yeah, I would assume so. The Tales name, it kind of implies that as well.
I'm down though. It sounds like fun.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, if that was his idea for the Halloween franchise, this kind of sounds like this is where he eventually took it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even. He could have called it anything. The fact that he called it Tales for a Halloween Night is just, it's a fun title.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, they're also developing a show called Nightside, which is based on a novel series by New York Times bestselling author Simon R. Green. The co-creator of the Scream TV show is attached to write the script, which is a little bit concerning because that show isn't particularly good. However, in the series, Nightside is the secret heart of London where creatures of the night congregate. So we got a London set monster series. Could be interesting, maybe.
I like the premise. The screenwriter is the only negative in that whole piece there.
Yeah. But, I mean, Tales for Halloween Night I'm definitely more interested in because of that. But, obviously things to keep an eye on. I'm down for more horror TV.
Yeah, and obviously if they do end up on SyFy killed it with... what was the
Channel Zero.
Channel Zero, thank you. That a blank in there. That was some fantastic horror. So, it proves that, they can do it.
And even right now, even though we stopped reviewing them because they are, they weren't super in-depth, like both Winona Earp and Blood Drive are good fun shows. Like they're both solid entertaining shows. So SyFy can put out some good stuff. Obviously sometimes it's the higher end of the scale, it expands, and Channel Zero sometimes it's just the fun schlock. But
yeah, I'd be down for one of these. These being one of each.
Yeah. I can actually see Tales from Halloween Night being kind of a weird mix because it is different stories every week. You could almost...
Yeah, so you could have some that are the really highbrow horror and some that are just, let's just do a fun slasher movie in an hour.
That could be fun. Alright, next up. Now, we actually heard about this show a while back when it was first in development, but this is like the official green light because it's got a network attached to it now. I don't know if you remember Hugh 1968 from Michael Mann.
I have vague recollection.
Vietnam related, it's about a Vietnam incident. FX has landed the rights to it, and they have there's a typo in this article, and it really confused me there for a second. It said, listen to this, it will span 8 to 10 hours. But I actually get what it means now.
So it's 80 hours. Cool.
No. It's saying 8 to 10 hours, but for some reason, they've written the word 8 out, and then 10's the numbers. So it was really confusing to look at.
Does it at least have the dash to say 8 to 10, or is it just...
It does have a dash, but to me, I thought it was meant to say 8 1 hours, so it was going to be 8 1 hour episodes.
Yeah.
Because of the way it was
written.
written.
I see what you're saying.
But now I'm understanding it now. It's just really weird that they've written out 8. Like, if they'd written the number 8-10, I'd have got it immediately.
Yeah.
But
no, that seems strange. Don't switch halfway through your phrase in there.
And if you're going to
pick
write
one and stick with it.
And if you're going to write out the numbers, I wouldn't want a dash. I'd want it to say 2. Like, if you're going to write it out in full English words,
yeah, dude,
it's 8 to 10 hours.
Yeah, they started right now with the 8, and then they went, nah, this is taking too long. -10.
Shame on you. I think that was deadline. Shame on you. Shame on you. Anyway, so Michael Mann and Michael DeLuca are creatively behind it. Michael Mann's going to direct several of the episodes, including the first one. So that's cool. He's a good director. I mean, his movies have been hit and miss recently, but he can do great stuff. So yeah, it's based on the bloody siege and the turning point of American involvement in the Vietnam War. We spoke about this when it first came up, how this was kind of the big sort of tragic fight that kind of sort of maybe started to lead to the US pulling out. It does have some more though, just to sort of give you this idea of like how it's going to like function, because it says it's a kaleidoscope view of the event, and by that I think it means multiple different characters in different situations. So here you go. This is kind of a deeper description of who the characters are in it. The intertwined characters include a seemingly innocent schoolgirl on a bike whose heart had hardened her to a revolutionary after her sister was executed, leading her to help smuggle weapons. Also a former NFL tackle who became a US Marine colonel and tactician, a Buddhist poet turned Viet Cong commissar, an American civilian meeting his Vietnamese fiance's family, a math teacher from Hanoi in North Vietnamese Army, a Marine captain radio operator from Pennsylvania who immersed himself in the local culture and language and then found himself unable to convince his supervisors that Hugh had been overrun by conventional infantry, and President Lyndon Johnson in his pajamas in the White House with Jen. Or General William Westmoreland, a sleepover guest who presented a rosy view of progress in Vietnam. I butchered the hell out of that description.
Yeah, when you said with Jen, I assumed it was, a J.
Yeah.
And that was a name, not you were seeing the abbreviation.
I'll be honest, I think it shows when I didn't read through the paragraph before I read it on air. That was one such occasion, and I had no idea what was coming. I was not expecting there to be so many characters. I was expecting more like...
No, it's a very eclectic mix as well, isn't it?
Yeah, clearly there's people in the army, there's people in the Vietnam side, there's people people who want to fight them, there's people who don't want to fight them. It seems like there's a really good mix.
Yeah, and we're seeing back at home, we're seeing the White House, that side of things as well. Yeah,
so it sounds like we're going to see all different viewpoints of this incident, which could be an interesting season of TV actually.
It could. I'm definitely down for this.
Yeah. So apologies for me butchering that paragraph, but sounds interesting. All right, let's move on to our final news story of the week. It's a quick news week. We seem to be like bouncing back and forth between shorter weeks and bigger weeks right now.
We do.
But yeah, so Netflix is teaming once again with Ava DuVerney, and she's going to do a limited series for them, 5 episodes. It's called Central Park 5. It's based on a true story. Coming in 2019, DuVerney is going to write and direct all 5 episodes. So that's a pretty big deal. It's based on the true story of the notorious Central Park 5 case. Each part of the limited series will focus on one of the 5 teenagers from Harlem: Antron McCrae, Kevin Richardson, Yusef Salam, Raymond Santana, and Corey Wise, who were all wrongly convicted of raping Trisha Milay, or Mealy, yeah, maybe, that last name's a bit of a word, in Central Park. The series will span from the spring of 1989, when each of them were first questioned about the incident, to 2014, when they were all exonerated and a settlement was reached with the city in New York.
I'm interested, based on the format. You got 5 people, each one is, they get 1 episode, and seeing how that becomes this overall narrative, I think could be interesting.
I can see there'll be some interlinking.
Yeah, that's what I think will be the most interesting about it.
You know,
No, I mean, not that the story will be boring or bad. I can see from a way they've chosen the format to be interesting.
yeah, especially since like, because I think had you not told me that, I would have okay. It starts in 1989, so like there'll be a time jump between episodes, and then eventually we'll get to the end of the story. But it sounds like no, it's going to do more of a. There'll be a bit of each timeline
Yeah,
in every
you'll
episode.
you'll get this person's journey, and then you'll see another person's journey. You go, that's how things are fitting together as you go on.
Yeah. No, I think it sounds pretty good. I will say that it does not sound like a cheery show. It sounds like it's going to be very depressing because we have a rape victim, and then we have 5 people falsely convicted of the crime. It does not sound like it's going to be a happy story from any angle whatsoever.
I mean, they get a happy ending.
Oh yeah, you spent however long in prison. Yeah,
I'm just saying they got exonerated at the end. There was a happy ending. So as grim as the show may be, you go, right, well, at least they get a happy ending.
I can see it being very bittersweet though. It'll be that. It'll be that thing where they get out of prison. It's like prison has changed them so much that their life's been ruined anyway.
Almost certainly.
But,
public perception of them and all.
Yeah, I can just see it being a horrific. Just horrific to sort of live through this story. I can see it being a really just a hard watch, but no, it sounds interesting. It's interesting Netflix are doing more of these kind of self-contained. No, this is just what it is.
Yeah, there's no commitment to do a second season. They go, right.
Well, it'd be kind of weird. Like,
but that's what I mean. Like, the limited series in general, I feel like a lot of cable places are starting to like it as well, where they don't need to worry about, okay, budgets are going over. We go, right, we've got one thing, we market the hell out of it, we do great. That's it, job done.
Yeah, admittedly, I think that typically they want series that go on, because it's the same reason why movies like sequels and franchises, because they can keep sort of safely churning out more of it.
Yeah. I think that's why they're kind of getting a lot of anthology series, because they want the idea of the limited show.
Yeah, but
they want the name to keep people coming back.
Having their cake and eating it too is basically what that is.
Pretty much.
But it's worked out mostly quite well recently. I mean, True Detective Season 2 being kind of the big...
That's clearly the exception to the rule, though.
But no, there you go, that's the news. So a couple of interesting things. John Carpenter's doing some horror shows. That Michael Mann Vietnam show sounds kind of cool, and then Ava DuVerney's doing this Central Park 5. Various interesting things in development. They all sound pretty far away, admittedly, but we have to start with the news somewhere, which I guess leads us to picking our favourite episode of TV of the week. Connor, between Doctor Who, which was the season finale, Preacher episode 3, and the first episode of Castlevania, what are you picking?
Right, okay, well, reverse order here. Obviously it's not Preacher, because we spent a lot of reviews saying how we didn't like Preacher.
Yeah, we really did not like that episode, no.
So that's kind of out of the run immediately. Mm-hmm. Castlevania, again, if you watch our review, we liked it, but it's really hard to judge.
Yeah, it feels very much like the first part of a 90-minute movie, so it's really hard to sort of gauge.
Yeah. Doctor Who happens to have been, in my opinion, an excellent episode. I enjoyed it more than Peter did anyway. I know that from based on our review. But I think Peter agrees that it was a good episode at the very least.
I think good elements, kind of a mixed bag overall.
All right, fair enough. I enjoyed it a lot, and honestly, barring Twin Peaks, over the last few the month's worth of stuff, if this had been an average week, I probably would have picked it anyway, I think. I know you wouldn't, but
I'm stuck in a weird place because, like I say, Twin Peaks was a mixed bag. I didn't like this week's Preacher. Castlevania almost just kind of wins by default because at no point was I annoyed at it.
That's fair. Joe, I want to give a shout out to I'm cheating a bit. Dear white people, I know we're late. We only just did, but it was fresh for us this week, and that was a great episode.
I know. You know what? Episode 2 of Dear White People was either the best, the second best episode of TV I watched this week. The reason why I say that is because for Already Cancelled, we're working through leftovers, and I think the one that we're going to review soon after we finish this recording, because we were meant to do it last night and we had to delay it, but that might have been the best episode of TV I watched this week, for the record. But Dear White People episode 2 was fantastic as well. And I've been enjoying Glow with Matt. All of these things I've enjoyed more than either Preacher or this that
Well,
past week of
that's
Doctor
the
Who.
strange thing. We haven't got a lot of current TV, but what we are actually doing, we're enjoying.
Oh yeah, we just maybe have to expand the parameters of what we're picking.
But that's the thing. If we start including the already cancelled and like the catch up stuff like Glow and Dear White People, do we do for the already cancelled with the leftovers? Which week do we count by? Do we count by what went public on YouTube this week? What's there that you can go and watch when we record this video now?
That's a good point.
Or do we go by, well, we recorded this week, but that's a week ahead for people who are on the Patreon?
That's a good argument for not including that, because that's really confusing.
It is, and then you have to remember a full week ago as to which ones you really liked and then compare them.
I guess what I'm saying is the leftovers that will go up sort of Thursday, Friday next week for public on YouTube. Probably the best episode of the season so far. So there you go.
Good stuff. But will not be the best episode of TV next week because Twin Peaks will be back.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, I feel bad for it because if it was this week, it might have won.
And we'll have another 2 episodes of Dear White People there to add into the mix. There'll be at least another 2 or 3 episodes of Glow to add into the mix for me.
Rest of Castlevania
will be in the mix. Is there anything new starting next week? In fact, next week we may have a show on Amazon next week.
We do?
We may, because I'm not sure if we're actually getting it all over the world. It may just be Japan. Remember Face that we talked about last week?
Yeah.
It was like I don't know if this is like a CBS crime procedural or if it's the most insane Japanese thing ever. It could go either way. I have no idea. But
we'll find out when we wake up on Friday and see if it's on Amazon.
Yeah, but if Amazon put it out worldwide, we will watch the first episode and hey, if maybe we'll like it and maybe we'll want to do the whole thing. I don't know, but
you just don't know, do you?
But that's what's coming up this week in terms of new stuff. No Netflix show coming this week, but the following week we have Ozark, so we'll definitely try that as well.
Yeah.
I'm not as pumped for that one, but I mean, I'm willing to give it a try.
I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm pumped, but I'm cautiously optimistic.
Obviously, we have Star Trek's going up every week as well. They typically go up on Sundays. Yeah, so that's the thing. Obviously, we had movies go up. Dawn of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes review went up this week. I like to call it Dawn of the Apes because the title's too long. So that went up this week. Me and Tim had Child's Play 2 go up and Screams After Midnight, which is a horror movie show. And I'm just promoting everything at this point.
Baby Driver. This week.
Yeah, Baby Driver was last Sunday we put that up, which means that Spider-Man Homecoming will be out by the end of this weekend. A review of that. So
yeah,
there you go.
There you go. See, there might not be that much TV, but we are doing stuff.
Oh yeah, there's a lot coming out. It's just the actual new TV's kind of dry at the moment, which is fine. But that's us. So thank you very much for watching. Let us know what you thought of this week's news in the comments below. What's exciting, so on and so forth. Get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. Head over to patreon.com/mailedfuzztv if you want to support us over there. Help out the channel. Keep us doing what we're doing and unlock some bonus stuff. Have a look. But that is us. So thank you very much once again for watching. Keep watching TV, guys. Have you got any vanilla?